Hi, I'm back with my thoughts on day 3 of Canada Reads. I got my handy dandy notes here. There's a few things I want to talk about. Um, First off, I want to acknowledge that apology at the beginning. That was awesome. First of all, that Farah felt comfortable in calling out Bruce Poontip's comments that this is Canada Reads, not India Reads, and then the fact that he apologized and said that maybe his mouth was going a little faster than his brain and he didn't intend it to sound the way it did. Yeah, I thought that was really cool. Anyways, let's talk about this. Again, I want to comment about something I saw on Twitter. In the live Twitter feed, someone had said that Aboriginal issues are the most important issues, and that's why Birdie should win. And I thought that was quite offensive because these issues shouldn't be ranked. Um, Indigenous rights are not more or less important than the rights of refugees, which are not more or less important than mental health issues. There's no ranking in these issues. It shouldn't be that way. It's just no, that doesn't work. And to bring that back to Canada Reads, that's why I think Heroes Walk should win because it is very universal, and it's very timeless. It promotes this notion of tolerance and acceptance about setting aside old prejudices and starting over and changing. And I think that's those lessons that it seeks to teach, that it seeks to demonstrate are issues that are things that we can apply to all these issues. That all these issues need tolerance, that they need acceptance, that all prejudices and stereotypes need to die away in all of these issues. So I think that's why Heroes Walk should win. I'm glad that this time they actually talked about the books and not about the issues, because it is Canada Reads, not Canada Elects. That happened back in October. We're in March now. We're talking about books. So some of the questions that were asked: which book do you think is most beautifully written? Which was generally accepted as Heroes Walk is most beautifully written, although storyline wise it was The Illegal, which I kind of agree with. Like, The Illegal was very fast paced. Whether it was a good story or not, it's it's okay. And the next one was like, what book taught you the most? What book convinced you the most? So it was talking about books. I like how they really started discussing then about how story is separate from the written word. And I think those are kind of like the issues that come about when you're talking about reading and you're talking about books instead of about issues that may or may not be addressed about in the books. Um, the theme of this year, in case I haven't said it enough, is about starting over. Oh, if I put this behind me, you can see how messy my hair is. Awesome. Oh, yeah, and I think that question really came. The question that really exemplified that was, which book convinced you the most that people can change, and the general acceptance was that The Hero's Walk did it. And a lot of people actually said the same things about a lot of the same books. So, for example, in The Illegal, they said they felt Kida really hadn't changed, that he was such a solid character at the beginning that there was no way for him to change. So it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it doesn't really fit with the theme of starting over and changing. And then they said about Birdie that Bernice actually ended up going back in the beginning, to the beginning. So she didn't actually change. Even though there's this big thing about changing, she didn't. She just became the person that she was before as well. And I agree with that. And they all said that the one that convinced them the most was from Heroes Walks. Rapathi Rao is a 60-year-old Indian man who was raised in the caste system, and was raised by a very extremely prejudiced mother. And he actually changed, and it was a very realistic change as well. It was a gradual change. It wasn't just, suddenly one thing happened. Yeah, so Birdie was voted off. I was very relieved because we all know how I felt about how that book is a very dangerous book. Um, yeah, so that's it. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow and watching Heroes Walk win because we all know at this point that it will. Um, yeah, Vermani is very eloquent. Um, yeah, so that's that. Let me know what your thoughts are on day 3 of Canada Reads, which book you hope will win tomorrow, and thank you for watching.